Hello everybody, welcome to another Roblox Lua scripting video, and today I'll be teaching you how you can have your own very custom unique inventory system, not backpack, inventory system in your game. So how I made mine, I used two forms of leader stat values, the cache and the way to save the weapon. I use the weapon I'm using is sword, so sword. I'm using you can also make a table, by the way, you can save multiple weapons, but I'm doing one for this one. So sword, I'm using it, so if the value is equals to 1, that means I have it. If it's 0, that means I don't have it. So it says buy sword for 10 silver. If I had less than 10 silver, it'd say already bought or not enough cash. But right now I have 90 silver, so I do have enough. So I'd buy it. Now the sword value equals to 1. If I try to click again, already bought, not enough cash because I already bought it. Now you could reset or rejoin the game, anything you want. It's the way that it has to load for my script. So it should load. There you go. So my sword value equals 1. So the loading script checks it. I have it. So it puts it in the scrolling frame. Now I can do it. Right now I can't equip it. It's not in my backpack. I have to put it in one of these slots. So if I click select and bam. Now I can't click it again. Equip it. It's gone. And now if I click equip, now it's in my, there you go. It's right there now. Alright, so now if I was trying to remove it while equipping it, it'd say unequip weapon. But if I did remove it, attempt to call slot remove equals script line 3. Script the weapon inventory. If I push out rapier. Oh, my bad. Alright, well, this is a good way to test it, I guess. It's called a sword, not rapier. Because this is the inventory system I'm using for my hidden road game. Alright, remove right there. Sword. Logo script. Logo script. Logo script. Okay, here we go. And just change that to each one are similar. Alright. Solo load. Remove, and remove. Alright, there we go. Okay. So I just took a really simple sword from Toolbox because I'm not putting mine out there. Alright, so again, see, the second I rejoin the game, my data saved. I can't buy the sword. I can re-equip it again. Click that, equip. There we go. If I was trying to remove it, because if I removed it while equipping it, it would typically clone the thing. But if I was to remove it, it will go back to the sword. Now you can put in any one of them. So if I do like that, you can put it to any one of them, but you can't put the same weapon to different slots. That's duplication. Of course, you can equip it, and there you go. You can use it again. It's just a sword that's took out of the toolbox. You can replace it with any weapon you want. And of course, I can remove it if I just unequip the weapon and remove, and there you go. Now I made mine very like addable, so you can just keep adding weapons if you wish. So if you were to add another, well, let me explain the whole system first. Alright, so okay, so first of all, I'm checking if the sword value, remember I'm using two values. This one would be the sword. That means if I have the sword or not. If it's 0, I don't have it. If it's 1, I have it. So I'm checking if the value is greater than 1, that means I have the sword. Then I would make this display. This display is the thing that you see. And if I was to put it here, make it visible, you'd see it. That's the thing with the weapon. You can click it. It's like it's the weapon frame anyway. Alright, so I cloned that, changed the event into the sword, sword, name sword, text sword. If you were to make another weapon, I can make a new data called sword 2. To make a new leader stat called sword 2. You do else if data that sword the sword 2 the value is greater than or equals to 2. Then do copy this and put the exact same thing and change it to sword 2, sword 2, sword 2. It says sword 3, sword 2, sword 3. You can just keep repeating it. So this is one of the loader. It's one of the things you have to change once you add a new weapon to your game when you want it to be in the inventory. So you have to do that. Typically the same thing. Just change the sword to the second weapon's name in the leader stats, and sword 2, sword 2, sword 2 is just the name of the weapon. I'll make sure it's different, by the way. Alright, so that's one of them. Now, if I was to go here, so the event becomes the name of the sword on the replicated storage. So let's see here. I have called selling. So I have two remote events: sword and sword load. If you make a new weapon, you do sword 2 and sword load 2. Because this one will be is the removing and adding of the weapon. This one is the purchasing of the weapon. But if I have the sword here, I'll make sure you make the event value of the weapon of the display equal to the same name of the remote event name. So if it was sword 2, it would be sword 2 here, and sword 2 is the value. Alright, so text button. This is the equipping. So if enable equals true, then enable equals false, and make the selected value equal sword. If it was false, then make it nothing. That means you selected no weapon. But if you did select something, make the value equals sword. So if you were to do a second weapon, actually no, yeah, this thing you don't change anything at all, only the loader. Because if it was a second weapon, this would automatically be sword 2. But in this case, if I did select it, selected value would be sword. So I guess I can actually script that parent, that event, that value. So okay, now you don't have to change this anymore. It will automatically, just make sure when you do the loader, make sure the event of the thing is the same, is the value of the event. So it will automatically, you don't have to keep changing every single script to be compatible with every single sword. Just change, make sure you know how to do this thing. So else if sword 2, the value is greater than or equal to, and then make sure the event value is very important. So highlight that. So sword 2. So that's just the display. So once you select something, now there are 3 slots, but they're all the same. So in a way, you can ignore all these slots, because once you change something, if you're trying to, because you have to change a few things here, but once you change everything here, you can practically just clone it and just move it. So you can just ignore these two. They're all the same. They're all the same lines of code, all the same thing. So current chosen. Alright, so once you select something, I click sword 2 or sword, it'll be kind of selected. And if I click, select in the display the weapon, it will be in selected. A string value will be called sword. Now if I click, once I click that, then click to the slot, it will check if if the chosen value is equals to nothing and there's no weapon currently equipped in that slot. Then proceed to, if the selected value was equals to sword, then again, if you have a second weapon, would be, else if script the parent selected value equals to sword 2, then just copy and paste this, make the selected value empty again, then go to your the weapon inventory. It will look for the name, that is the name of the name. It will look for the display with the name of the sword. So like I said, in the loader, make sure the name is sword and sword 2, because it's very unique. So if you do the second weapon, it will look for sword 2 or anything, any other name that you change it into. Just make sure none of them are the same. And it will make the visible equals false. So text button, that means once you equip it, you don't want them to re-equip it again and put it to a second slot. You don't want one weapon to be in the same slot. It will clone it. So it'll just make the text button or the selection button visible equals false. It will change the current chosen value equals to sword load. And again, once that value becomes something else, once the player clicks again a different weapon and clicks slot 1, the first thing it'll check is if the value is equals to nothing. So if it does not equals to nothing, then there's already something equipped, like sword load already, then it won't work. So just this line right here. And of course, make the text label right here. That text equals sword, telling you what weapon you equipped. So yes, hope you understand how to. So you have to change everything. You have to change, when you add a weapon, you have to change things here. You have to change things here in the slot. And of course, now the equipping. Script that parent must be one click, connect function. You get the chosen value, which is which has the name of the loading, by the way. So make sure the current chosen value is the same thing as the name of the remote event for the second remote event of that weapon. So if it was sword 2, it will be sword 2, sword load 2, and sword 2. So make sure this name is the load name of the weapon. So sword load, sword load. If it was second weapon, it'd be sword load 2, like that. Now the equipping, which is right here, equip. So you get the current chosen, you get the event, then fire the string of on, which is you're equipping it, you need it. Event that find first child chosen that value, which is chosen that value. Remember, chosen is the name of the sword. It's the same name. The value of chosen is the same name as the event sword load in the selling event. So it will look for that. So it's very mandatory. It will look for that. So you don't have to keep doing event that find first child sword load. It will check for that value. Press over val. So you don't have to change anything in the text button. It'll do it automatically for you. That's how I made it. However, if you do change, you have to change something in the remove. So let's go back to the loading. So once it'll fire to load, then go to perma weapons. It will call the event. If the val was on, which is we sent that on, let me sure equipping it. On will be equals false, and it will clone the sword and put it to the player's backpack. Now let's remove the weapon. Alright, so this is the last thing you have to change. So you have to change the loader, the local script here, and the remove local script. So if the chosen value was sword load, which is the name of the event, and given the place local pair the backpack, the fan first child sword, which is it's looking if the weapon is no longer equipped. You don't want it to clone, so they unequipped it already. So now you can proceed to making the text button display again visible equals true, so you can equip the sword again and put it to a new slot. Make the chosen value equals nil, so now it's available. You can equip a new weapon to that slot now, and reset the text label name to weapon name again. And of course, fire the sword load event, and with the string value off this time. So you want to remove the weapon from the player. And if else, then it says unequip weapon. Wait, remove. It's telling you that the weapon is still in your character. You're equipping it. If you want it to be removed, you have to unequip it. And the perma weapons, of course, calls it again. If its value equals off, on equals true, then local sword equals spread backpack of the sword. So once you equip it, it goes back to the backpack. It will look for it, destroy it, and then the whole cycle repeats. So that's slot 1. These slots are exactly the same thing as slot 1. So just remove that. You can even make more. You can even make like a slot 4, slot 5. Just if you were to change, if you wanted to change something, like if you add a new weapon, just go to slot 1, change all the scripts here. That script, remove script, local script, and add it, else if, like that. And then once you're done with that, remove everything else and just duplicate it like that, and the name slot 2, slot 3, slot 4. So you only have to change one to make it work. So if you wanted to add a new weapon, remember just change this script and this script, and then once you're done, just duplicate it, or you can just because you don't want to you don't want to open every other slot and retype the same thing from the slot 1. No, you can just remove every other slot and duplicate it and just change the name to slot 2, slot 3, slot 4. So remember that all you do is just change slot 1, and after you're done changing it, just after you make it compatible, after you're finished making it compatible with the new weapons you have, just duplicate it and remove these two and just duplicate it to slot 2 and slot 3. Now they all have the same scripts. So I think that's it. Yeah. So I think that's it. All you have to do is just change this script, and the loading script to your second weapon if you were to add a new one. And of course, you can also make a table instead of making it this way. Making a new number value each time sword 2, sword 3. You can just make a table. But I did it this way, and just like that, you have your own custom inventory system, which you can easily load because there you go, bam, bam, select, bam, equip. There you go. I'll check if it's in my backpack, unequip it. Now it's gone. Now it resets again. Select the chosen value is now the selected value is now sword. Now click here. It'll check if this chosen value is equals to nothing or is worth something. Right now there's nothing, no weapon is in that slot, so so now I can equip it. Equip. Now the slot is taken. That means you can't click another slot. I can remove it, and I can choose a new slot because that slot's not open. I can go back to it. And just like that, you have your own saving inventory system. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, and comment. And yeah, see you guys all next time. Peace out.